This is your place for everything you need to know about Lake Forest football, soccer, and more. Now it's time for your host of the Lake Forest College Sports Zone, Cam McGuire.
Hey Forester fans, welcome back for episode number 2 of Lake Forest College Sports Zone. As always, your host Cam McGuire. Glad to have you tuning in. It was a busy week for Forester Athletics, and they saw a lot of good competition. We'll start with the football team. Well, they hosted North Central College right here at Farwell Field. They hadn't played the Cardinals in 45 seasons, a non-conference matchup. Obviously, North Central College out of the CCIW conference. Let's see how the Foresters favored against the Cardinals. North Central would strike first when all-conference quarterback Brock Rudder would keep it himself for a 4-yard touchdown run, giving the Cardinals a 7-0 lead with 7:11 to play in quarter number 1. It'd be the Foresters, however, on the next possession, able to get on the board, and oh wow, check this one out. Foresters first and goal from the 8-yard line out of the pistol formation. Quarterback Jagan Cleary hands it off to running back Alex Adams, who then reverses it to wide receiver Chase Allen, who's able to sneak in the end zone down the right side, and the Foresters sideline is fired up as they've tied it up at 7 apiece. But from there on out, it would be all Cardinals as they were able to score 56 unanswered points. Let's fast forward to the 12:45 mark of the fourth quarter. Billy Degnan now in at quarterback for the Foresters. Will he cap off a 9-play drive, finding Ted Crane down the left side of the sidelines for a 28-yard touchdown connection. And for the junior wide receiver, it was his first touchdown as a Forester. Well, North Central showed why they were the number 6 ranked team in the country, coming in here and taking down the Foresters, a score of 70-14. Before we flip the page from football, let's take a look at it by the numbers. Well, comparably, 633 total yards of offense for North Central compared to the Foresters, just 188. Lake Forest used 3 quarterbacks in the game as Jagan Cleary only played in the first half. Brock Rudder for the Cardinals, 18 of 23, 197 yards and 2 touchdowns. North Central College, they pummeled the Foresters in the running game with 398 total rushing yards, led by Dominic Mugalu, leading the way with 125 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Lake Forest struggled to run the ball, picking up only 51 yards on the ground. In the wide receiver game, it was a number of wide receivers targeted for both teams. For North Central, it was Andrew Kuminski. He only had 4 receptions, but he made them count, picking up 92 yards and a touchdown for the Cardinals, while John Rawl and Chris Adamwande had 3 catches apiece for the Foresters. On the defensive side of the ball for Lake Forest, Taylor Freitas and Johnny LaPonte each had 8 tackles on defense, and Blake Becker was just 1 shy back of them. Now in just 2 games this season, LaPonte has a total of 17 total tackles. So Lake Forest has a week to reconvene as they have their bye week this Saturday before hosting the Lawrence Vikings on September 22nd right here in Lake Forest, a 1 p.m. start time for that one. Well, you know that sport where they use the rackets and they hit those yellow balls? Well, the women's tennis team here at Lake Forest, they do an excellent job of doing that. They're perfect so far this season. They are 5-0. But not only are they 5-0, what sticks off the page is the games they have won. In singles competitions, 301 wins and only 42 losses, and in doubles, 104 wins and only 7 losses. The team is made up of just 7 girls. Just one of those a senior in Allison Watts, a native of San Francisco, California, and we headed out to the tennis court earlier this week to catch up with Allison.
Cam McGuire here with Allison Watts of the women's tennis team. Allison, you guys are off to a phenomenal start to the season. Evaluate it so far.
Well, we haven't lost a game yet, and we had a great preseason, and we have a new freshman on board, and so our team is super deep.
Look at your personal success. 51 wins last season, 21 wins in doubles with Tierney Miller. That was a school record. You're now 30 wins shy of the school record, trailing Christy Valicenti. She's a former teammate of yours.
Yeah, I respect her a lot. She gave me great advice when it came to tennis, when it came to being a captain too, which I've learned a lot from her, and it's awesome. I'm really excited.
So 30 wins shy. What would it mean to hold that record at this school?
Man, to leave with a legacy would be great. That's anything I could have wished for. So
we'll go back to the team aspect. We mentioned 1 freshman on the team, then everyone else is back from last year. You guys have probably some good chemistry on this squad.
Absolutely. It's awesome to have multiple players returning, and Katie is awesome, and the bottom is so close. All of us are really close. I mean, today we even did challenge matches, and our 3 was beating our 1, and so it was awesome.
You guys have a huge weekend coming up this weekend. Saturday, you guys are going to play Cornell at 9 a.m. and then Grinnell at 3 p.m., I believe. You guys finished right behind Grinnell last year. I'm sure you guys are going to get up for this one.
We're ready to kick their butts. Man, to beat Grinnell would be so awesome, and we could totally do it. We have such a deep team, and again, with the returners, it's kind of what they have, a ton of freshmen, which is we have that advantage over them. So we're looking to catch the win this weekend.
All right, Allison, thanks so much, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Joined now live in studio by head women's volleyball coach Heather Noll. Heather, thanks so much for coming in today.
You bet.
So you guys improved your record to 4-6 on Tuesday night with a big win over El Ferno College. Evaluate that win, because now it's back-to-back wins for you guys.
Yeah, that was a big win. We had a really, really long and tough weekend. We had 4 matches in 2 days, which is a lot on our bodies right now. That's 2 weekends in a row with that. And then to come in, practice Monday, we had a really good practice on Monday, and come in Tuesday to get a win. It's really big for our team right now.
So talk about last weekend, obviously 4 matches in 2 days at the ACM tournament at Lawrence University. It had to be a pretty good bonding experience, though, for your guys and the teammates, which is huge at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good weekend. It was a long weekend, a lot of great competition. Saw a lot of team growth over the weekend. We have depth in positions that is exciting to have this year. And so to be able to get a good number of people in over the weekend is great for our team and our team dynamic.
Talk about team dynamic, a lot of team growth. Who have some of the key performers been so far this season?
So Grace Larson started out being one of our key performers. Unfortunately, she's out with an injury right now, and she was out all weekend, so we didn't have her for our 4 matches this weekend or our match on Tuesday night. And we've had a couple players who have really stepped up. Offensively, Olivia Smith on the outside has really stepped up. Offensively and defensively, our middle blocker, Isabel Donnelly, has really stepped up, and she was named to the all-tournament team this past weekend, which shows that she's really stepped up. Our setters are running a super effective offense, and our passers are doing an excellent job of getting playable balls up, and Emily Witz is dominating the libero position right now.
So it seems like some of the pieces are coming together. You know what's crazy? We talked about it off camera. You guys have played 10 out of your 25 matches already. That's 40% of the season is already done. What's the message going to be moving forward?
We're still growing. We're still getting better. And so if we can teach them to take each of our matches as a match, but also as a practice match as we get ready for conference play. We don't start conference play until the 30th. So if we can find our groove and our drive right now and get to be as strong as we can be before we hit our first conference match on the 30th, it's going to be exciting.
Let's talk about that. Conference matches. Not till the 30th. You guys have 2 non-conference matchups this weekend. Saturday against Benedictine, then Sunday against Dominican. What do you know about them?
So last year we faced both teams, and they were close matches last year. And I have no doubt that they will be nail-biters again this year. I think when each of us get together, it's a super competitive environment, which is a lot of fun for both teams. So this weekend will be tough, but I believe that we can get it done this weekend, and I'm excited to see us take another step ahead with our program.
All right, Coach, that's all we have for you. Once again, thanks again for coming on. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
The men's soccer team was 3-0 heading into last weekend. They had some tough competition. Saturday, they hosted the number 6 ranked St. Thomas Tommies all the way down from Minneapolis. We take a look at the highlights right now. This one was scoreless until about just less than 20 minutes to play in half number 1 when Halfer Hogg would score on a corner kick that was redirected off the head of his teammate, Jack Berry, giving St. Thomas a 1-0 lead. The Foresters were able to keep it a 1-0 game for the next 30 minutes of play, but the Tommies would pour it on with 3 more goals in the span of just 4 minutes in the middle of the second half. Just 4 shots on the day for the Foresters. They fell 4-0 to the Tommies as they had a quick turnaround. Then on Sunday, they played Benedictine right here at Farwell Field. Well, they'd fall again, once again, being shut out 2-0 as they only were able to muster up 10 shots, just 3 of which were on goal. Up ahead for the Foresters, they'll compete in the Warrior Cup this weekend starting on Friday up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the campus of Wisconsin Lutheran. They'll play Olivet College on Friday, and then they'll play the host, Wisconsin Lutheran, on Sunday. So that's how the men favor this week. The women's soccer team, they had a very busy week. 3 games already played on the week, which started with their home opener on Friday against Concordia Chicago. Just 1 goal in this one. Let's take you out to the field and not only show you how it was scored, but which team was able to pull it out. Scoreless all the way until the 82nd minute of play when Hewa Brown with a beautiful corner kick and an outstanding header by Morgan Henricks, who found the back of the net, and that's all it would take for the Foresters in a 1-0 win in which they outshot the Cougars 14-5. Well, they were back in action on Sunday. Well, they'd be shut out for the second time this season, falling to Illinois Tech, a score of 3-0. But luckily for the women, they had a chance to rebound on Monday, heading up to Mequon, Wisconsin, to take on the Concordia Falcons. As we look at the highlights from that game here, it would be all Falcons early, as it would be Allie Hall, 17 minutes into half number 1, as she collects the ball just in front of the box, gets around a defender, and then hits the post, but it would trickle across the goal line, giving the Falcons a 1-0 lead. Concordia University with a 3-0 lead with just 15 minutes left in regulation. Lake Forest's Sangjin Hornauer with the free kick finding the top right corner for her first goal of the season, but it would not be enough as the Foresters fell to the Falcons, a score of 4-1. One more game on the road this week for the Foresters as they head to downtown Milwaukee to face off against the MSOE Raiders on Thursday night, and then they'll come back home to close out the week on Saturday against Edgewood College at 1 p.m. right here at Farwell Field. Well, the men's golf team, they opened their season last weekend at the Tim Kopka Memorial Tournament at Randall Oaks Golf Club. They finished tied 9th out of 21 teams, and stealing the spotlight was freshman Caleb Dzierzynski, who fired a 77 on day 1 and then followed up 3 strokes less than that with a 74 the next day. We headed out to Lake Bluff Golf Course earlier this week to talk to the freshman and Caleb Dzierzynski.
Caleb, you led the way for the Foresters in tournament number 1. How'd you feel out there in your first collegiate tournament?
You know, I started off, I was a little nervous, didn't want to let the guys down, but as I got going, I felt a little bit more comfortable and got things going throughout the weekend.
You look back on the weekend, a 77 and a 74. If you could go back and change one thing, what would you change?
I'd probably change the start of my tournament. Like I said, I was a little nervous, and if I just relaxed a little bit, I probably would have played a little bit better and, you know, just missed a couple shots here and there.
So just a freshman, obviously, it was your first collegiate tournament. You're going to have another crack at it this weekend at the Midwest Fall Region Classic. What are your expectations for your second collegiate tournament?
You know, I like to play well, get out there and get off to a good start, and hopefully our team finishes a little bit better than we did last weekend.
The team travels to Galena, Illinois this Friday to play in the Midwest Region Fall Classic at Eagle Ridge Resort this Friday and Saturday. The women's golf team, they had a tournament on Tuesday, the Elmhurst Invitational. They finished second place out of 5 teams. CC Cruz and Yuka Kawada firing 83s for the women's squad. And all 5 Foresters broke 90 in the tournament, the first time that happened this season. The Foresters will travel to Fond du Lac, Wisconsin this Saturday to participate in the Marion Invite at Whispering Springs Golf Club. Well, on the running side of things, the men's and women's cross-country team, they're going to go 7 miles north, competing in the Forester Invitational at Foss Park Golf Course on this Friday. And that's all the action we have for you this week around Forester athletics. As always, be sure to go to goforesters.com to stay up to date with what's going on here at Lake Forest College. And as always, for myself, Cam McGuire, thank you so much for watching. And as always, go Foresters.